Lovely. So you now know how you're going to review someone. So you know sort of the different kinds of scales, you know the different kinds of ratings. Um, Now you actually have to review one of your first line leaders or team leaders, and this is how you're going to do it. The first thing is that you need to prepare. Okay, you can't just come and sit with them and have a little talk. You need to know what you need to bring up with them, and you need to show them the data that tells them that they're doing a good job or a bad job. So let's take a look. What factors will be used in the performance review? Sorry, that's not that one. What factors will be used in the performance review? So, will it be about their reliability? Will it be about their attendance? Will it be about their competency? Will it be about the assessments that they're handing in? So, what factors are you going to use to be the review system? Then, what standard will you use to review them? So, you've worked out the performance standards for each of those little areas. Tell me what the performance standard is. Who will conduct the review? So would it be you? Would it be the center manager? Would it be the HR manager? Would it be the head of development? So who will be the person conducting the review? When will the review be done? And then can the employee add their own comments to the review? Now that's always a good idea. Always have them come in with what their understanding is of their performance. Maybe there was something that happened. Maybe there was a conflict that created a problem. So this is where you can hear all the issues that have come up and you are able to then address them. Okay. After that, written reports can provide comprehensive feedback that can be easily filed and referenced. So remember, when you do your reports, file them, document them so that you can go back to them before doing another performance review on them. So you can see what were the problems, where have we grown, what are the development issues, so that we have some kind of documentation of their development. Then we have written data like time cards, production tallies, inspection reports, sales tickets. So when we say, hey, your manufacturing is too slow, it's based on actual data, actual documents. We need to make sure that we have those things in place. So we're not just saying, this is my opinion, but this is the real data. These are the real facts. And this is why we believe what we believe. Then get things like personal observations, static statistical reports, oral reports, and written reports that can be used to measure performance. So again, get the facts. Oral reports allow for fast and extensive feedback. So make sure that you are having a one-on-one with people. You hear their side, they hear your side. You can figure out the reasons for underperformance or overperformance, and that you are able to then ask the right questions at the right time. There's other systems that are like computers and they just give information. So, are you doing a good job? The computer says yes. Not as personal, but it's all driven by data, and sometimes that's a good thing. Then you have online systems where people can identify problems as they occur. So if they didn't get production up to the right level today, we know by tomorrow morning these were the problems. So sometimes performance review can be done on a continuous basis. So if someone has done really well, you bring them in that moment, say, fantastic job. If they've got something wrong, you bring them in that moment and you say, hey, just work on this. So online systems can help with performance review. And then employees can supply their own progress reports through the use of email and networks. Okay, so they come in with what their data is, and then you can relate it back to the data that you have, and you make sure that the performance is in line with what is expected. So those are the different ways of being able to track people's performance. Based on that, you're going to give some feedback. Okay, so positive feedback. Well done. Fantastic job. You've done such a good job. You've hit your goals. We're very proud of you. What did you do that was so good? And you start to build their self-esteem, and you start to give them promotions, and you start to really build into them. You mentor them. You develop them by giving positive feedback. Then sometimes they're going to be below expected. So that's when you got to give constructive feedback. And so you've got to say, listen, these were issues. What happened here? How can you fix it? Tell me if you need more resources. Do you need more training? Now you can have a good discussion when they are below performance in order to build them and not to break them down. You don't want to shout at them. You don't want to give them a hard time about certain things when you don't understand the backstory. Give them everything they need in order to progress. Coach them as much as you can. That's constructive feedback. Then you're going to create a report. So once you've given them feedback, you create a report that's going to be filed. So have their personal details, job title, job description, a detailed review of performance, okay, against the actual criteria. So their performance standards versus the expected performance standards. Then you have some kind of historical evidence of how well they're doing. Then you have an overall performance rating, depending on how well they're doing. Then you have general comments by the manager and maybe even from a senior manager just to be a second source of information. Then you have comments from the employee about what they did in this quarter, or in this year, or in the 6 months, and then a plan for development and action. So these are the areas that we're concerned about. These are the things they're going to put in place in order to deal with those concerns. So there you've got a full understanding of a actual performance review or performance feedback meeting. Great. Formative section 3.3. It says in your groups, consider performance appraisal documentation that is used to effectively prepare an interview for your workplace. Discuss why it is essential to have written records of the appraisal and how performance management forms have been designed according to the nature for your organization. Now, as a group, design the template for a performance management form on a flip chart paper and ensure that your template makes provision for all the details and information needed to effectively prepare for an interview. Now, if you were to do a performance review with one of your teammates, design a template to help you cover the things that you would need to address. Okay, so look at the tasks on page 25. Okay, so go to page 25, look at the tasks, and then make a template for a performance review meeting based on the task that you see on page 25. Okay, so that's going to be your task for this formative section. Once we've done that formative section, we're going to go to the summative section. Okay, now you're going to prepare for a review for a team member. Complete the table as part of the preparation process. Then ask a team member to sign the completed form. Okay, attach the examples of workplace documentation that you have used as a performance review process in this document. Okay, then describe the methods for giving constructive feedback that make provision for reporting positive and negative findings. So you can refer back to page 24 for the answers to question 2. But for question 1, what I want you to do, let's go to summative assessment 3.3. Okay, and you'll see that there is a little template. Again, job name, okay, team member name, job title, date of review, place of review, nature of review. So nature of review could be annual, monthly, after a negative event. You tell me why you're doing this review. What documents do you need? Well, you're probably going to need production reports, progress reports, skills development matrices, a summary of what they have done in the last year. So you tell me what documents you need in order to prepare for this performance appraisal. You tell me what their responsibilities are, what information they need, okay, what information you need to be checking if the team member has done things. So, in other words, it says if your responsibility is to make sure that all assessments are in on time, you're going to take a look at the progress tracker and then you're going to do assessment of performance. Yes, every single time they've submitted on time. So they have a good record of handing in assessments. So, what is their responsibility? What documentation do you need to make sure that they're doing their responsibility? And how well have they done it? Then over here, learner name, learner signature, team name, team signature, and date. Okay. And then question 2, as I said, go to page 24 and you will find the answers. So guys, you must do your formative section and then your summative section. I'm going to give you guys half an hour to do both of those. Template for your formative and then filling out this template in preparation for an actual review with a teammate.